Album number 1, Disease by Beartooth. It is their third studio album from the American hardcore troupe. And it is the band fronted, or led, by former Attack Attack vocalist, that's the one with one exclamation mark, and keyboardist Caleb Shomo. The man with the weird name. I say vocalist, keyboardist, he pretty much did everything towards the end of that band. It's fucking insane. He basically, in the studio, it is all him. But they are technically still a band, so technically, we're saying it's their first album with Master Flames guitarist Zach Huston? I might have that wrong. I thought his name was Hudson. Anyway. When Beartooth first popped onto the scene, it was such a fucking surprise because Attack Attack pretty much went viral for all the wrong reasons. That first album was pretty dreadful, and the music video that came with it was the one where they were all crapcoring in some park somewhere. It looked fucking awful, and Caleb Showman was nothing but just very big fringe on a very small boy. I'm pretty sure he joined Attack Attack when he was 14, which is incredible. I wish I was talented at 14 or 24, anything between. They released 3 albums, I believe, altogether, and annoyingly, that last album before their breakup wasn't awful. It was very your bog standard American metalcore thing. But that was when he was properly trying to get the album what he wanted. You can sort of tell where it stopped being a band, started more becoming his thing, and then what eventually became Beartooth. But yeah, This Means War, really, really good collection of songs, and it was back when synthy metalcore was dying off, but it was still enough of a metalcore album to be called that, and it was just very, very fun. But still, you've got that's the Caleb Showman we had for years and years and years, and then all of a sudden he comes out with Disgusting and the Sick EP, which was punk as motherfucking shit. It was just, and with him taking the lead vocals as well, he'd always had. He's got a very expansive voice. He can do lots of cleans. He can do a variety of different screams and growls, whatever. But with Attack and Attack, it was very much that low metalcore growl with that very big cleans to go alongside it for the choruses. But with Sick and Disgusting, it was very much he screamed on all ends of the spectrum, kind of used cleans very sparingly, and it just became this full-on attack of the punk spectrum, and it was very, very good. I really, really enjoyed those first 2 releases, Sick and Disgusting. I found Aggressive quite meh, if I'm completely honest. I do have, I've listened to it, and it's just doesn't grip me in the same way Disgusting did or Sick did. And I was having to think about why. And with Aggressive, it was very much paint by numbers, hardcore metalcore again. And it was, I always find when Caleb just does something it almost like what he's supposed to sound like, it comes off sounding quite stale. Like the early, I know he didn't have much more of a voice then, but the early Attack Attack stuff, it's very, it was a mess, let's be honest. And then with Aggressive, it was a case of let's do what metalcore says we need to do, and then it just didn't quite work. Whereas with Disgusting, that latter day Attack Attack album, and with this one, it's very much a case of I want it to sound like this again. I want to do what I want. And fair fucks to him, he's absolutely nailed it. And this album is just, I love this album a lot more than I felt like I was going to, based on what I thought about Aggressive. It is so full of melody, yet so abrasive all at the same time. And again, whereas with Disgusting, it did go from hardcore to metalcore, or almost even to thrash metal at time, or crossover. This has gone kind of the other way, but same sort of concept. So you've got a lot of metalcore stuff, loads of hardcore things, but it's almost easycore album. This breaks into a lot of pop punk stuff. The tone on the guitars sounds like they could easily back up Zakk Wylde. That classic bluesy but very crunchy hard rock kind of sound. listen to Disease and Believe. It's all over there, and it's got him using such his big vocals again, his big clean vocals, and it is a lot. It's got so much more of a mainstream appeal, which I was kind of like thinking about. It's what's the word I'm trying to think of? Kind of hypocritical with me basically saying I love this because it's so much more mainstream and so much more pop oriented and so much more accessible, whereas last week I was shitting on the Shining album for the exact same reasons. The reason why this differs is with Shining, it was a case of they scrapped everything that made them popular and what got them a fan base and what made them good, and just sort of pandered to what Animals eventually became. Whereas with this, I honestly feel like Caleb has got everything that he wants to do, and just almost melded it to a mainstream appeal because he wanted lots more melody. I feel like he wanted to use his cleans more. Excuse me. And yeah, if you listen to a song from this album completely void, or you just put it in a shuffle with everything Beartooth have ever done, you would still see, oh yeah, this belongs in Beartooth's realm. Whereas I don't think you could have done that with anything from Animals. Sorry. And it's still got, like I said, the faintest whiffs from Attack on Titan. Mostly the huge fucking choruses. American metalcore always has that, like the very chuggy fast verses, and it's very stereotypical verse, chorus, breakdown, blah. But just the choruses from Fire and Greatness or Death are the two that I've really picked out. And it's staggering. There's not many vocalists who can do a really powerful scream and then a really powerful clean. Usually you can get one or the other who does like powerful scream but then just like mediocre cleans, or vice versa. And especially, he's 28 years old. Come on! Why can't I be good at things? It's split a lot of, from what I was reading about, it's split a lot of critics and a lot of reviewers based on the fact that, kind of like what I was saying about Shining, it's a little bit too mainstream radio. And I kind of see why they think that. I honestly think this is the closest hardcore punk has gotten to the mainstream radio for a very long time. Like, I've read about how bands like the Dead Kennedys and Bad Brains did back in the day, but I feel like that's still counterculture, and that's just in the years since we've come to appreciate what they've done. This I could definitely definitely imagine seeing some of the softer songs like Disease or Believe on Radio 1, and it doesn't have to be the rock show, it can just be like a bog standard rock song put on there. For better or for worse, I dig it, because as much shit as we give these kind of bands, and like Linkin Park towards the end, and this new latter day sort of Bring Horizon sort of stuff, everyone needs that gateway band to get them into the more expansive stuff. Like one of my favorite albums for this year is Zealanada. It is a black metal album with lots of chanting, spiritual influences from back, like in the really bad days. And you don't go straight to that. You cannot go straight to that. I remember being a kid listening to Linkin Park, Hybrid Theory by Linkin Park, American Idiot, Dead Letters by Erasmus. You need those gateway bands, and I honestly think for people who want to get into punk, this is great. And just fucking listen to Manipulation. The riff on that makes me fucking cry with just excitement, and I don't know. It's so good is what I'm saying. If nothing else, just get it for that. It might be super generic to you. I get that, because it is American hardcore trying to be mainstream, but I think this album is fucking great. If you liked... I'm trying to think about what I could compare it to. If you liked From Death to Destiny by Asking Alexandria, which was their third album, again, really big melodic choruses that you can have arenas and there's crowds of any size to sing back at you. If you're a fan of that, if you're a fan of A Day to Remember, if you're a fan of 4 Year Strong, really recommend this album to you guys. That was Disease by Beartooth. I kind of forgot what I was going to say. Disease by Beartooth. Check it out. It is, if you are a fan of Beartooth already, it's probably closer. I think it does stand alone, actually. I can't say it's closer to, between aggressive and disgusting. I can't really say it's closest from one to the other. It is in the Beartooth hemisphere, but it does stand alone, and it's really, really fucking great.